Good evening, I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Andrew is away. Tonight, Conservatives know who will lead them in the next election. Are they gunning for one?
You're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from me in the coming weeks and months.
How Erin O'Toole won and what it means for how he'll run. A curfew crackdown in Wisconsin. Fury spills into American streets after a video captures another police shooting.
Play it back. You saw the cameras. He was shot 7 times.
Manitoba slams down new COVID restrictions.
This can happen anywhere.
Trying to stamp out a spike in cases. What is driving the surge? And some parents looking for a back-to-school plan find one close to home.
I think if you want to do this, you can do this.
Homeschooling 101. This is The National. Canada's new Conservative leader is a man with a plan, a sworn mission to unseat Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister. Today, Erin O'Toole claimed his new office as leader of Her Majesty's official opposition, not too long after a hard-hitting acceptance speech delivered on a very late night. A technical problem delayed the vote count for hours, but victory is now his. Hannah Thibodeau shows us a leader spoiling for a fight and possibly an election.
I'm Erin O'Toole. You're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from me in the coming weeks and months.
New Conservative leader Erin O'Toole knows job one is getting his name and face known.
Outside his friends and family, like nobody knows who he is.
Next Prime Minister.
But Conservatives feel he'll be an easy sell.
Most Canadians will look at Mr. O'Toole and say, yeah, that guy could be my neighbor. He looks like a nice guy.
He's a former Air Force officer and corporate lawyer, and became the MP for Durham, Ontario in 2012. In 2015, he was a cabinet minister under Stephen Harper. O'Toole ran in the 2017 leadership race as a moderate voice in the party, but finished third.
We need strong leadership to unite our party.
This time around, he redefined himself as the true blue candidate to appeal to the right wing of the party. And it worked. O'Toole was able to pick up second and third ballot support from social conservative candidates Leslyn Lewis and Derek Sloan. But he now needs to keep his party united and keep it growing. It added 100,000 new memberships during this leadership race, and a record number of party members voted. The Conservatives are debt-free, and O'Toole plans to build on that.
It is time for many Liberal and NDP voters to socially distance themselves from those out-of-touch parties.
Talk of a snap election continues to swirl when the House resumes in late September. O'Toole has said he wants to topple the Liberal government, but the Conservatives are currently trailing the Liberals in the polls.
So for Erin O'Toole, if he is going to be looking at where things stand in the polls, he's got some work to do before he should be confident enough to bring down the government and take a risk on an election.
O'Toole is expected to discuss this with his caucus to decide if he will risk it and try to trigger an election in a few weeks' time. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
For Erin O'Toole, winning government may depend on winning the trust of Canadians who support same-sex marriage and abortion rights. But as David Cochrane shows us, he also needs the loyalty of social conservatives who got him elected leader.
New leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Congratulations, Mr. O'Toole.
For the second straight race, social conservatives picked the leader. They pushed Erin O'Toole past Peter MacKay.
The prochain chef, Andrew Scheer.
Much like when they nudged Andrew Scheer past Maxime Bernier.
We don't need to keep picking this fight of, let's kick out the social conservatives to be more appealing.
Steve Outhouse ran the Leslyn Lewis campaign. A proud social conservative, Lewis finished third in total points, but on the second ballot had more raw votes than any other candidate.
We need social conservatives in our party if we're going to unite and win.
Those voters went heavily to O'Toole on the final ballot, making it clear that social conservative voters are a big key to victory inside the party. But as Scheer learned, their values can also trigger defeat.
Do you believe that a same-sex marriage is the same as a conventional union?
Of course, I believe in the equality of rights of all Canadians.
That was thrust onto the agenda and hung around Andrew Scheer's neck like a stinking albatross.
That comment may be what sank McKay, alienating thousands of potential voters.
I just don't think he was able to recover the trust of social conservatives after that, no matter how much he said he wanted party unity.
O'Toole, in contrast, positioned himself as a safe second choice, who will seek to broaden the tent.
Whether you are black, white, brown, or from any race or creed, whether you are LGBT or straight,
while respecting social conservatives.
O'Toole himself has said he doesn't hold socially conservative views. He'll march in pride parades, but he believes that part of the party, that people with those beliefs have a place in the party.
But their opponents argue those beliefs have no place in government. Social conservatives accounted for more than 1/3 of voters in this leadership, a sizable minority that will get the majority of scrutiny in the next election. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
So what is all of this leading to? Let's get some answers from Vashi Kapelos, the host of Power and Politics. Vashi, what are Conservatives telling you today about whether they actually want to fight a fall election?
Hey, Adrian. Normally, this wouldn't be the discussion we'd be having following the election of a new leader of the party, the official opposition. They'd have a few months to get their party together, get their vision together, articulate that to Canadians. But this is a very different situation thanks to the announcement last week from the Prime Minister that his government will face a confidence vote. People I speak to around Erin O'Toole are very set on making sure they're prepared for an election, but they certainly aren't gunning for one. And there's one big reason for that. A recent poll showed that about 2/3 of Canadians don't really know enough about Erin O'Toole to form an opinion about him. They don't want Canadians to form an opinion during an election. They're hopeful that they can do it well before one.
Okay, so given all of that, then what's your sense of how realistic a fall election would be, given that, other parties have a say in this?
Yeah, I think that's what's so important here, Adrian, is talking to other parties about how much they actually want one. And that's where I'm going to bring in the NDP because, yes, they have financial problems, but they're also worried about the Liberals painting Erin O'Toole, someone told me from the party, as, quote, scary, because that will drive Canadians to vote for the Liberals. At the end of the day, the NDP end up playing a really important role because if they support the Liberals in the throne speech, there won't be an election. Adrian?
All right, thank you, Vashi. Vashi Kapelos, host of Power and Politics. This next story begins with disturbing video, but we need to play at least some of it because it shows you yet another police shooting of a black man, this time in Wisconsin, and this time he was shot repeatedly in the back. Tonight, Jacob Blake is in stable condition in hospital. And on the streets of the small city where it happened, almost 200 members of the National Guard are on patrol. Susan Ormiston now on the shooting and the protests that followed.
Disturbing video shows 2 police guns drawn, following a man around his car, and as he leans in, 7 shots in the back, with 3 kids inside that car. Jacob Blake's fiancée is frantic.
They didn't even know the kids was in the car. And I'm telling the woman cop, I'm like, can you please get back before I shoot you, get back. Like these officers is heading, I'm like, shoot me, my kids is in the car.
The reaction was swift. Last night, protesters roamed, torching buildings and vehicles, frustration growing into face-offs with police.
What you walking away for? We talking. Y'all responsible for this life y'all just took.
Today, Kenosha's mayor tried to de-escalate tensions.
You have to have due process for everyone. What's the name of the officer?
The crowd wanted answers. And when he had none, the mayor retreated into City Hall. The police association says the video does not capture all the intricacies of a highly dynamic incident. But they did not answer. Why were police chasing Jacob Blake? Was he armed? Neighbors say he lived there and was trying to break up a fight between 2 women. Tim Mahone grew up 2 blocks from the shooting.
Earlier, justice will prevail, and we have to give justice time. Please don't destroy our community.
These officers are complicit by their silence.
Lawyer Ben Crump, who represents George Floyd's family, is taking on this case too, as Kenosha goes under a strict curfew tonight with the National Guard on patrol. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Washington.
Day 1 of the Republican National Convention is now over, and like everything else, Right at the moment, the pandemic has forced some changes to the convention. It's happening in 2 cities over 4 days, a mostly virtual affair. And as Paul Hunter shows us, it started with an important moment for Donald Trump.
This convention will come to order!
For Republicans this week, first things first.
South Carolina, 50 delegates.
We proudly and happily cast all 50 of our votes
for President Donald Trump.
Suffice to say, Donald Trump got the nomination to run again for the White House.
4 more years! Now, if you want to really drive him crazy, you say 12 more years.
But Trump is in a deep hole, under fire for his handling of the COVID crisis and for his approach on social injustice, his impeachment, his inner circle scandals, and more. Today, soberingly, Trump again framed the narrative for if he doesn't win.
And I really believe this. This is the most important election in the history of our country.
Yes, it is.
Don't let them take it away from you. And the only way they can take this election away from us is if this is a rigged election. We're going to.
But although Trump knows he's far behind in most polls, don't count him out. No matter the polls, millions still support him.
I think there are a number of cases to be made for voting Trump in 2020.
Travis Corson, Washington, D.C. chair of the group Young Republicans, remains a steadfast Trump backer. He likes Trump's optimism, his vocal support for policing, and critically.
But as we crawl out from this pandemic and as we recover, I trust the Trump administration to continue the pro-economic growth agenda that brought our economy to where it was before and will continue that growth once we move past this pandemic.
Our party is unified, our supporters are energized, and
will it be enough? Will this week's convention boost Trump's re-election chances? Republicans and the president make their case this week.
So, Paul, we've now seen the first night of speeches. What stood out for you?
Well, I'll note that Donald Trump was all over the convention on day one. He spoke and appeared a few times today and tonight. But what stood out for me was the McCloskeys. They're the couple from St. Louis who famously waved their guns at Black Lives Matter demonstrators as they happened to be peacefully walking past the McCloskey mansion back in July. Tonight, in a videotaped message, they spoke about that in underlining their support for Donald Trump. Here's a clip.
You know that we're not the kind of people who back down. Thankfully, neither is Donald Trump. President Trump will defend the God-given right of every American to protect their homes and their families.
That's what's at stake in this election, and that's why we must re-elect Donald Trump.
You know, one of the goals for Donald Trump in this convention is to fire up his supporters, to get them energized, to make sure they get out and vote in November. So consider, Adrian, that every speaker, every carefully chosen bit of video, including that one, is with that in mind.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington tonight. Thanks, Paul. The United States has surpassed more than 175,000 COVID deaths, and hundreds of Americans are still dying each day from the virus. So Donald Trump knows he needs some good news on the coronavirus. And this weekend, he says he got a win. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has given a form of plasma therapy emergency authorization. But as Christine Birak shows us, some scientists say it is too early to say how effective it is.
Plasma has been called liquid gold, offering those who are sick disease-fighting antibodies from the blood of recovered patients. It's worked for other diseases. The question is, does plasma help patients with COVID-19? Scientists with the World Health Organization say they don't know yet.
The results in some cases point to some benefit, but have not been conclusive, and we've been tracking this.
But a day after President Donald Trump accused the U.S. Food and Drug Administration of dragging their heels, movement. It's given emergency approval to start giving plasma to more hospitalized patients.
Based on the science and the data, the FDA has made the independent determination that the treatment is safe and very effective.
That data Trump refers to comes from a study in which all patients were infused with plasma, offering no comparison to show whether it worked better than standard hospital care. Canadian scientists worry, like other treatments, plasma is becoming politicized.
Hydroxychloroquine is a good example. There certainly are other examples where things look really enticing.
Dr. Donald Arnold is leading Canada's largest plasma trial. He says while plasma was used to treat patients during the Spanish flu pandemic and it appears safe, it's still too early to tell if it's effective for COVID.
We are a little desperate. We don't have a lot of treatments to treat COVID, but at the same time, it's potentially dangerous to adopt these without enough data.
Richard Carl was the first COVID-19 patient in Toronto to donate his plasma to the Canadian trial. Intuitively, he thinks plasma should work, but knows that's not enough.
We're looking for certainty. We're not looking for intuition. We're not looking for half-baked.
He hopes other recovered COVID-19 patients will donate their plasma to help make sure sick patients receive proven treatments, not empty promises. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
British Columbia has unfortunately set a new provincial record with 913 active COVID-19 cases. This comes as the province reported 269 new cases over the weekend. That includes 109 from Friday to Saturday, the highest single-day jump ever recorded in BC. The province has ramped up testing capacity to meet the recent surge in demand, with about 5,000 people now being tested every day. Montreal Public Health is sounding the alarm about a possible COVID outbreak after a series of Latin dance events. So far, 3 people have tested positive, but officials fear there could be more as the events were attended by up to 500 people. They're asking anyone who's gone to any of the indoor or outdoor dance events since the end of July to get tested. And officials in Alberta are trying to contain an outbreak linked to the Lilydale chicken plant in Calgary. Alberta's chief medical health officer says there are currently 11 active cases tied to the plant, with 2 others considered recovered. And some people in Manitoba are dealing with new COVID restrictions tonight in an attempt to bring the virus under control there. The restrictions come after a weekend of alarming numbers of new cases. Karen Pauls lays it all out.
In Manitoba's Prairie Mountain Health Region, which includes the province's second largest city, social gatherings are limited to 10 people, inside or out, and masks are mandatory in public places, all for at least 2 weeks.
It's difficult. A lot of people are struggling with, where do I wear it? Why do I have to wear it?
It underlines just how precarious victory is.
This can happen anywhere, because I'm here to tell you, our community was golden in terms of handling the pandemic, and then suddenly this uptick.
That's the story in pockets across the province, including at a Steinbach care home, and more than 1/3 of Manitoba's cases are connected to what the province calls communal living communities, which include Hutterite colonies.
In Hutterite society, we find ourselves experiencing the same range of responses to COVID-19 that are identifiable in every other segment of society. We have people who have been eager to take the measures very seriously, and on the other end of the spectrum, we have people who think that COVID is just a scam.
Manitoba has had fewer than 1,000 COVID cases, but daily cases have been climbing since mid-July. So health officials have also introduced new province-wide rules today.
You have to be very nimble and responsive to this virus. Things change really quickly.
Masks are now mandatory at all healthcare facilities, and health officials aren't ruling out further measures.
Nothing's ever been off the table.
Health officials say there's no strain on the healthcare system yet, but they also do expect COVID cases to continue to rise, just in time for schools to reopen. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
And one last late-breaking note on the pandemic. Retired Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt has COVID-19.
Just to be safe, quarantined by yourself, and just to take it easy.
The 8-time Olympic gold medalist posted that video earlier today saying he had no symptoms and that he's self-isolating as a precaution. The positive test was confirmed tonight by Jamaica's health ministry. Bolt got tested after attending his 34th birthday party. Anti-gay street preachers have become increasingly familiar in Vancouver's Davie village, but police have now banned them after they allegedly broke a man's leg in an altercation. As Briar Stewart tells us, police are treating this as a potential hate crime.
It's happening again on the corner on Thurlow and Davie.
A crowd in Vancouver's West End gathered Saturday when a man was taken to the hospital with a broken leg after an altercation with a couple of so-called street preachers.
The gay community unites with the atheists unite. It makes us all unite because you guys are all evil and we need help.
Whose anti-gay speeches residents have been complaining about all summer.
They are targeting the gay community in the heart of the gay village.
Dan Snyder tried to take attention away from the preachers Saturday by dancing nearby. He says their messages blared through speakers are unwelcome in the neighborhood.
They're trying to provoke a reaction, and passersby in this community are provoked because, honestly, it is quite unsettling.
My voice doesn't matter.
The group has popped up in Toronto before, but appear to have been active in Vancouver throughout the summer.
Police say they've responded to 5 complaints about the same group in the past 2 months. Early Saturday evening, 2 people were arrested after police say a passerby asked them to stop preaching and a pushing match ensued.
Justin Morissette was that passerby. He tweeted, "I stood up to anti-gay evangelical bullies in the West End this evening, and they purposefully broke my leg for the trouble." He needed surgery. One of the preachers took to YouTube to offer his version of events.
He snatched the mic out of my hand, forcefully snatched it out of my hand, and pushed me out the way.
Police recommended charges of aggravated assault against the 2 preachers, and there could be more.
No matter how disgusting or intolerable those acts are, we still have to give them a right to freedom. We are investigating to see if they crossed that line and this became criminal. And that's where our hate crimes investigators are stepping in.
But for now, police have banned them from preaching in that area of the city. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.
Survivors of the Christchurch shootings had their first chance to confront the gunman today.
The trauma will live with me forever. The images, smell and sound of the mosque on that day haunt me.
Up next, powerful moments from inside a New Zealand courtroom, how a community is coming together yet again. Plus, back to homeschool.
The flood of questions has been constant.
Why some parents are choosing to become their kids' teachers. And later, calling Erin O'Toole.
I noticed that a couple of people from Canada had followed me. I thought, that's interesting.
A case of mistaken identity after last night's leadership win. We're back in 2. The horror of New Zealand's worst ever mass shooting remains raw. And today, more than a year after the deaths of 51 people, the sentencing hearing for the shooter began. Katie Nicholson takes us inside that courtroom where survivors and victims' families looked a murderer in the eye, seeking justice.
He used to give me flower for my birthday, but instead, I got his body.
One by one, they stood and unleashed their pain.
The images, smell and sound of the mosque on that day haunt me.
Today, the first time since the shooting, some survivors came face to face with the man who stole so much from them.
The gunman and I looked into each other's eyes. I saw the moment when I was the target of his gun. I was shot 9 times.
In March of 2019, Brent and Terrence shooting rampage on 2 mosques took 51 lives, injured dozens, and left families and hearts broken.
I constantly try to imagine how my beloved Atta felt at the moment of the attack, how he faced the shooter with his chest, armed only with his courage.
The court heard how the shooter studied the floor plans to the mosques he targeted and even flew a drone over one. The Crown also laid his motive bare.
And he intended to instill fear into those he described as invaders.
From fear came unity. Now the country that came together to mourn the dead and take a stand against hate is again rallying behind its Muslim community.
I just hope like crazy that he gets no parole.
Kia kaha, we're all with you and thinking of you and your families, and we're here for you, sending our love.
A one of a kind that is my son, Atta.
New Zealand abolished the death penalty for murder in 1961, but the shooter could be the first person in the country's history to be given a full life term with no parole.
May you get the severest punishment for your evil act in this life and in the hereafter.
The sentence won't be delivered until at least Thursday, after 60 of the survivors and family members of victims have had their say. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
When we come back, what back to school looks like for Canadian kids already in the classroom.
It was frustrating. Honestly, grade 8 was a lot easier being able to walk around.
From shower curtains to distance desks, schools in Yukon share their lessons. Mexico's 30 million students started school today by flipping on the TV. Classes are being broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from preschool on up. The hope is to reach nearly every kid this way, as most homes have television, but only 56% of Mexican households have internet. Well, here in Canada, as the school year draws nearer in much of the country, many parents are still deciding between in-class or online learning, and some are looking at another option. Bonnie Allen now on the surge in interest about homeschooling.
Something as simple as a walk in the woods can be a science class and a music lesson.
Blow hard like a trumpet.
Monique Willems is a former public school teacher who left the classroom 7 years ago to homeschool her children.
I know a lot of people say, oh, I could never homeschool. My kids and I would just butt heads all the time. Patience is not something that's a requirement, it's something that grows.
Less than 1% of Canadian children are homeschooled, but interest is surging. Willems runs a Facebook group called Suddenly Homeschooling.
The flood of questions has been constant. I could spend easily 8 hours a day just answering questions.
It's more than just supervising virtual learning. In homeschooling, parents become the teachers and must find or create lesson plans. It's more time-intensive, more responsibility, but also means more control and flexibility. At first, this stay-at-home mom was nervous to give it a shot.
I just believed that you had to be super mom, that you had to be ridiculously smart, you needed to be very financially well off, you needed to know all of the best curriculums that there were and be hyper disciplined.
But Twyla McDougall says she discovered it's not as difficult as she had imagined.
We can have fun and be together as a family. It's a real gift.
Okay. Some provinces set a loose criteria for homeschooling. Some ask for education plans, but generally there's very little regulation or enforcement. Some critics say the lack of oversight is alarming.
There are households where parents are completely neglectful. They claim to be homeschooling, but the kids are just watching TV all day.
McDougall says motivated parents with the time and resources will do just fine.
I really believe that anybody can make this happen.
And while many parents feel anxious about the new school year, these homeschoolers do not.
I'm excited and we just have a lot of peace.
Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
Of course, many Canadian children will be heading back to the bricks and mortar of schools. For a hint of what's to come, we only need to look north. Laura Howells has the story from Whitehorse, where kids are already back to school.
Nelda Inuarak is all set to start grade 4, wearing her favorite unicorn mask.
My favorite mask.
Nelda is one of thousands of Yukon students already back in school, with masks and a lot more distance. Kids and adults are excited and anxious.
With this COVID-19, I'm still kind of, as a mother.
It's really good to have the kids back, and we're a bit nervous and not sure how everything will go.
I'm really excited. For a lot of people I know, it's like all you can think about for the past week.
A lot of things are very different this year. Here at Elijah Smith Elementary, Principal Jeff Cressman won't let you in without a squirt of hand sanitizer. Big red arrows lead to desks nearly 2 meters apart, or to this classroom full of shower curtains.
But the teachers also and the EAs are also mindful that every student's a different learner, and they're not all going to just be able to sit in a desk that's spaced 6 feet apart all day.
All over the halls, posters remind students to keep their distance and wash their hands.
It's not going to be people yelling at a kid if they happen to give you a hug.
The president of the Yukon Teachers Association hopes this new year will go smoothly.
It's worrisome because we're the first doing it, and I'm hoping other jurisdictions learn from what we're doing. We needed to dive in and try and put our plans into place and to discover what's working. I'd rather know by the end of tomorrow what's not working so that we can implement it on Monday.
So, how was the first day?
It was strange.
Samantha Kirby can't play the trumpet in band. Wind instruments and singing aren't allowed.
The only things we're allowed to play right now in the school band is drums and strings.
It was frustrating. Honestly, grade 8 was a lot easier, being able to walk around, talk to people, go out to lunch in like the atrium, and now we just have to sit down and we can't really move a lot of the time.
We had to spread out and stuff. We had to wear masks. It's just super tight schedule.
It's a change, but,
Yeah.
but we'll adapt.
We'll adapt. Maybe the most important lesson of this pandemic school year. Laura Howells, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Coming up, we put your COVID-19 questions to the doctor, including this one. Does boosting my immunity with good nutrition and supplements do anything to change whether I get COVID-19 or how severe the symptoms will be? That answer right after the break. All right, welcome back. Time now for your COVID-19 questions. And joining me tonight is infectious diseases specialist, Dr. Susie Hoda. So, Dr. Hoda, let's get right to the questions. What would be a good routine for kids to follow after they come home from school?
So, of course, the first thing they need to do is remove their jacket and their boots or shoes, and then they should definitely wash their hands after that. Of course, I would also want them to remember the mask that they used all day long. That needs to go into the laundry hamper immediately, too. After they've handled their mask, they need to wash their hands again. Beyond that, I don't think that we need to have an intricate ritual that kids have to go through when they get home from school.
Okay, it's already hard enough for them, all these changes. This next one's kind of interesting. Does boosting my immunity with good nutrition and supplements do anything to change whether I get COVID-19 or how severe it is?
So at this point, we don't have any medical evidence that any supplements or foods or types of diets will actually reduce your chances of getting COVID-19 infection or a severe form of it if you do get infected. But that being said, I would say it's still really important for us to have a balanced diet and to take care of our health. So exercise and sleep really well. This is not really a time for us to be, falling ill for other reasons. But also the symptoms of COVID-19 can overlap with a lot of other things and are quite vague. So you wouldn't want to risk waking up in the morning with a headache because you had a poor night's sleep and wonder, could this be the beginnings of a COVID-19 infection?
Okay, so this one, are mouth shields a good alternative to wearing masks? I'm starting to see a lot more of these. They're sort of clear plastic. They seem to cover the mouth, a bit open just above the nose. What do you think of them?
I don't think they're a really good alternative at all. So these are developed for the food and service industry, and they're really not studied or they weren't designed for this purpose at all. So they're quite open at the top, and there are lots of opportunities for droplets to get in. They're not at all close-fitting to the face like a mask would be. So I would avoid using them. If you need an alternative, a full face shield is probably a better choice.
Okay. Instead of washing my cloth masks, can I just douse them with Lysol spray? That sounds a little scary.
Yes, that sounds risky indeed. I mean, Lysol has a number of chemicals in them that have no business being by your mouth or your nose. I would not think that's a safe option at all. What you need to do to clean your mask is really just launder it, ideally in hot water. But if you don't have access to hot water, but your dryer is working, then even the heat of the dryer will help to destroy any of the microbes that would be on it. Now, if you don't have any access to those opportunities, then the WHO says that you can boil your mask in hot water or boiling water for a minute after you've washed it with soap and detergent and water.
Okay, that's a good tip. Last one here. How can I safely store masks to reuse them throughout the day. We get this one all the time.
Yes, and you've got a few options there. So you can either find a designated clean surface that you can place a towel or a napkin on, and then place your mask with the outside part of it down, or have a Tupperware or something that you can, a reusable washable box that you can place your mask in, or even hang it on a hook so it's not touching other things. And finally, if you're moving from place to place and you need to store your mask, then having a plastic or a paper bag that's disposable would also be an option. And so you can fold your mask in half with the outside surface on the outside and drop it into that bag with the ear loops up so that you can easily access it again, touching the clean side of it.
All right, Dr. Hoda, as always, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So as you know, we're asking your questions about COVID-19 as often as possible. So send us the questions you have. Message us directly on Instagram at CBC The National or send us an email at covid@cbc.ca. More than 9,100 Canadians have died from COVID-19, and we are committed to telling as many of their stories as we can, the hearts they've touched and the history they've lived. That history doesn't always show Canada at its best. Tonight, a son remembers his mother, a woman who braved discrimination and persecution here to forge a future and make a family.
My name is Taruma Ikeda-Douglas. On May 9th, I lost my mother, Jeanne Ikeda-Douglas, to COVID-19. She was 87. She was born in Vancouver, 1932. She was the youngest of 4 daughters and had a fairly loving and carefree childhood until World War II. That's when the RCMP began rounding up Japanese Canadians and forcing them into internment camps. My grandmother saw how businesses and homes and possessions were being confiscated and sold off. She vowed that this was not going to happen to the family heirlooms, so she boarded a boat and her and Jeanne rowed out into the Pacific, put my grandfather's samurai armor into a canvas bag, his sword, and 2 pearl-handled pistols, and dumped them overboard. Despite racism and sexism of the time, she managed to graduate from the Ontario Veterinarian College in Guelph, and that's where she met her husband, Bosch Douglas. They were married for 62 years and had 4 children together. Early in her career, my mother was manager of the Infectious Diseases Lab for the Ministry of Health of Ontario. She often mentioned how she loved tracking diseases and developing vaccines, which is kind of ironic. I have many fond and loving memories of my mom, but the one that really comes to mind is the time she invited me on a road trip to Florida. And when we got there to the beach, she just walked into the water and she started swimming and swimming until she was completely out of sight. And I was really alarmed. But she returned in about an hour and she was alive and kicking and 83 at the time. Mom, thank you so much for all the selfless love you gave us all our lives. We miss your light and your smile every day. I love you so much.
So many Canadians continue to die after contracting COVID-19. We've gathered many of their stories online. You can find them at cbc.ca/remembered. Still ahead, in the wake of yet another shooting of a black man at the hands of police, we revisit how young black Canadians are feeling about this moment, their stories, when we come back. The killing of George Floyd was far from the first case of police violence against a black man caught on video, and it wouldn't be the last. A few weeks later, it was Rayshard Brooks, shot in the back while fleeing Atlanta police. And now another terrible video showing Jacob Blake of Wisconsin, shot in the back by officers near his car. The events themselves, the grim repetition, this is all hard for anyone concerned about systemic racism to watch, but for some, it cuts so much deeper. Earlier this summer, The National spoke with young black Canadians about how seeing George Floyd's killing affected them.
I am Peyton Tate and I am age 13. When I saw George Floyd was killed, I was upset, aggravated, and afraid.
My name is Nancy Okoro and I'm 13 years old. I think it was very shocking and saddening to see someone die by the authorities and people that are supposed to be protecting us when he wasn't resisting, and they still went ahead to kill him.
My name is Josiah Messom and I am 13 years old. My reaction to George Floyd's death was a mix between anger and sadness that things that go on today that should have ended a long time ago still happen.
When I see the protests, I feel kind of like a sense of joy, and I believe that the protesters are doing something great and that it's good that they're upset about what's going on. Because if they weren't upset, then nothing would ever change and it'd just be a cycle repeating itself over and over again.
I was proud of the people that decided to take a chance and stand up for what they believe is right. And I respect the people that are in the protests, making their voice be heard.
It made me happy to see a lot of people uniting throughout the world of different color, showing their support of all lives matter and Black lives matter too.
When people see me, I want them to know that I'm Black and I'm here and I'm proud to be Black, and there's nothing wrong with me for being Black. I want them to know that just because I'm Black doesn't make me a criminal and doesn't mean I have ill intentions towards anybody just because of the color of their skin.
I want people to know that I am kind and I can be a friend and that I don't pose any threat to them in any way.
I want people to know that I'm a strong Black man. I am not scary or anything. I don't steal. I don't do anything bad. And stop judging me when you see me.
Just because you like a Black Lives Matter post doesn't mean you're part of the cause. It means that you like the post. There's other things that you can do that'd be much more helpful to fix the cause and, change the system altogether.
I feel like I don't have a voice, mostly because of my age and who I am as a person. So, but I know if I do try to do something, I could make a difference within my neighborhood.
People like us, people of color, they don't really get the same chances as my other friends do. They don't really get the same options. And it makes conversations harder for people that can't really understand what you're going through. If people see my skin color and assume stuff about me, just make judgments right away, I can't really change their mind.
Up next, a message from a different Erin O'Toole.
I'm probably not the Erin O'Toole that you're looking for.
Nope, the post-leadership convention tweets accidentally directed at this American woman. Her very Canadian day is next in our moment. So this is a tweet from Erin O'Toole setting the record straight. As she notes there in her message, she might not be the Erin O'Toole you're thinking of. So this Erin O'Toole works for an NPR affiliate in Colorado. Until this morning, she didn't know she had a Canadian famous name twin until a whole bunch of Canadians started blowing up her Twitter. And now she's taking it in stride, and this is our moment.
It was definitely not the way I thought I would wake up today, but here we are. All of a sudden, my mentions started blowing up, I think is the term. Early in the morning, I posted a tweet that just said, "Hi, I see I have a couple new friends in Canada. I'm probably not the Erin O'Toole that you're looking for." And at that point, I started getting a lot of messages like, maybe we like you better. Do you want to move to Canada? Do you want to run for office? Do you want to run for prime minister? And I just want to put it out there right now. I love Canada and would happily move there, but I am not qualified to be a prime minister or anything else. What I have loved about today and what I've already known but has been reinforced today is that we all share this sense of curiosity and friendliness and civil discourse. It's not dead. And if you think that it is, think again, because it is alive and well, at least on Twitter.
Okay, so Erin O'Toole had a good day. Both of them had good days, but this Erin O'Toole says she's been offered today maple syrup, moose jerky, and ketchup chips. She had no idea they were actually a thing. Hasn't been to Canada since she was a kid. Time to come back. I mean, not now, COVID, but eventually. That is a national for August 24th. Good night.